Hi, my name is Emily Martinez, and today I'm going to be comparing the prices of makeup at Target to the prices of makeup at H-E-B. So we get down here, we have our abstract, our introduction, and our data collection method. A brief introduction as to why I chose this project is that I, as well as other people, I believe, have experience in purchasing drugstore makeup products from grocery stores. Now, the market for makeup is a relatively large one, and the same can be said for drugstore makeup. This is because drugstore makeup is the most affordable and the most accessible option of these products. The hypothesis that is being claimed for this project is that the mean prices of makeup at Target and the mean prices of makeup at H-E-B are different from one another. The data collection method was a random sampling process that was conducted by going to H-E-B's website and Target's website and picking a makeup product from one of them and then going to the other and picking that same exact makeup product from the other and then writing down the two prices of them. So when we get down to the data analysis portion, on the left, we have Target's data. On the right, we have H-E-B's data. We are provided with the mean, the range, and the five-number summary here. Uh, a brief analysis of these two columns of data is that while they look very similar to each other, you can clearly see that H-E-B overall has the higher numbers when it comes to data, which suggests that the prices are different from each other. They are not the same, and that H-E-B actually has the higher prices. So when coming down here, we have the relative frequency table for Target makeup prices, and then a little bit further down, we have the relative frequency table for H-E-B makeup prices. And then further down, we have the stem and leaf plots for both of them. At the top, we have Target's makeup prices, and then at the bottom, we have H-E-B's makeup prices. So the stem and leaf plots for both of them, if you were to turn them to the side, you would be able to see that they are both normally distributed. H-E-B's does look slightly different, but that is only because it has a larger variation in prices. With that being said, they both are still normally distributed, which is upheld by these histograms down here. So on the left, we have a histogram for Target's makeup prices, and on the right, we have a histogram for H-E-B's makeup prices. When looking at both of these, you can see that they are both roughly normally distributed. Target's is more symmetrical and it has a bell-shaped curve. H-E-B's also has a bell-shaped curve because it is normally distributed. However, it is a little more confusing to look at than Target's, and that is most likely due to the small sample size and the larger variation in prices as compared to Target. However, they do both uphold what the stem and leaf plots are showing, that they are normally distributed. We get down here and we have our box plots. I've arranged them this way because I believe it is a clear way of viewing the differences between the two of them. So the orange box plot is Target makeup prices, and the blue box plot is H-E-B's makeup prices. When viewing them like this, we can see that Target's makeup prices are more left-leaning, and H-E-B's prices shift more towards the right, which shows that there is a similarity between them two, but H-E-B's does have a higher minimum and maximum value, meaning that the prices are higher at H-E-B. So then the data analysis conclusion of this portion is that we can clearly see that the prices of Target and H-E-B are both normally distributed. However, the box plot does show us that H-E-B does have higher prices than Target. So then here is the percentages. I know she said we did not need to do this, but I included it. So we have what percent falls between the first and second and third standard deviation. Moving beyond that, we have the interpretation of our confidence intervals. So we have Target's confidence interval above and H-E-B's confidence interval below. And when looking at these, we can interpret that for Target, there is 95% confidence that the prices lie between $7.88 and $10.99, while for HEB, there is 95% confidence that the prices lie between $8.17 and $11.54. So if we were to look at these together, we can see that they overlap each other, which means that there is similarities between the prices. However, as seen above, um, there are still differences between them two. Going down more, we have the inferential statistics portion of this project, which is where we talk about our hypothesis tests. So the level of significance chosen for this project is 0.05. And the hypothesis test chosen for this project was a two-sample mean matched pairs test. So the null hypothesis is stating that the mean prices of makeup at Target and HEB are equal to each other, and the alternative claimed hypothesis is stating that the mean makeup prices at Target and HEB are not equal to each other. So we have our p-value stated down here. It is a very low p-value. It is smaller than our level of significance. So therefore, we would reject the null hypothesis that the prices of makeup are equal to each other. And because we reject this null hypothesis, there is sufficient evidence to support the claim that the mean prices of makeup at Target and the mean prices of makeup at HEB are different to each other. And then below that, we have our formula for our mean matched pairs test. And then after that, we get to the correlation regression part of this project. So on the left, we have all of our correlation results. And on the right, we have our scatter plot. When looking at the scatter plot, we can tell that there is a positive linear correlation between Target and HEB makeup prices because they stick to the line very well, and there are no outliers in this data. This is upheld by the data to the left when looking at the correlation coefficient of R, which is larger than our critical R. That tells us that there is a significant relationship between Target and HEB makeup prices. So then below that, we have our line of regression equation for Target and HEB makeup prices. And then we get to our conclusion of the project. So, concluding, this project supports my hypothesis that the mean makeup prices at Target are different from the mean makeup prices at HEB. And this is supported by looking at all of the data above. Our hypothesis test shows that we have a smaller p-value than our level of significance, meaning that we would reject the null hypothesis that the prices are the same, which supports my hypothesis that the mean makeup prices between Target and HEB are different from one another. So when getting to the conclusion part, or the part of the conclusion that talks about why this is important to people, this is important because it brings up the topic of why certain stores price their products that are the same differently. Now, this can be for a number of reasons, but a reason that I found supported by an article called Why Do Stores Have Different Prices states that stores can have different prices in the same products because larger chain retailers get better deals from producers. And since Target is a larger chain retailer than HEB, it could suggest that they got a better deal in purchasing makeup prices from producers, meaning that they would be able to price their products at a lower price than HEB. This allows people to determine which retailer they would prefer to buy their products from. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you so much for listening.